Hello, this is BVI Channel 1, and I still remain Asuchin of Peters reporting from the premises of Federal High Court Owerri, where the organization Alibo Development Foundation have instituted a case against the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria in the person of His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari on his action of deploying troops during what they called Operation Python Dance. They are instituting this case, or they have instituted this case to challenge the authority and the manner through which that operation was carried out, which have resulted to casualties, loss of lives, and property. Today, they have come to obtain a judgment from this court, but unfortunately, the court didn't sit. And the principal officers or leaders of this organization have a word to tell the public, and that is what we are right here to bring to your notice. So you stay back there and we'll get you the report. Don't go away, and I'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we salute you, we greet you. We are here, members of Alibo Development Foundation. We're sitting and standing here in front of the Federal High Court, Enugu. We had come today to receive judgment on the case we filed at the Federal High Court here in respect of the invasion of Alibo, which took place around the 9th, 12th, and so on, mainly around Abia State and other parts of Igbo land. We had gone to the Federal High Court here. At the point the thing was ongoing, seeking the court to give injunction to the federal government and the army to stop that illegal, unconstitutional invasion of Alibo, which they called Operation Python Dance, whatever that meant. In the course of pursuing the case, they had some point concluded the operation with all the havoc, all the agony, all the humiliation suffered by our people. But there's still the issue of whether that action was constitutional, whether the federal government has the right to send armed troops with tanks and other sophisticated weapons to invade Alibo in the bid of fighting the independent Peoples of Biafra organization. Well, we don't want to recall what happened not only to the youths who were subjected to inhuman treatment, to the women, naked women who were stripped naked, to the family of Nnamdi Kanu that was besieged with tanks. We don't want to say all that, and all that were slaughtered, but during that occasion. We had come here simply to ask the court to declare that action as an illegal, unconstitutional action. That is the simple thing we expect to hear. We believe that this country cannot survive with that kind of impunity. Of course, an impunity the Igbo nation has undergone several in its history. And I think it is high time we should be courageous enough to stand firm legally, constitutionally, and tell the federal government enough is enough. They believe that, some people believe that they can go on slaughtering the citizens of Alibo without any consequences. But we believe from history that there's always a day for godly people. There's always another day for those who believe in evil and who inflict evil on other this thing. We were going to ask our lawyers to address you, because we came here, many of us have been in Enugu, since yesterday, waiting to be here today to receive the judgment, only to hear that the court is not sitting. No information to our lawyers, nothing at all. And we are here. Many people are within town. We've called them not to calm down, but those who are here, we say we'll come here, meet them, and let the world know. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our fellow citizens, I said we are members of Alaibo Development Foundation, in short ADF. This is an organization embracing what generally we call the elite, public figures, intellectuals, businessmen, traditional rulers, the clergy, women and youth. We're not here to mention names, but those who are familiar with ADF know that we have archbishops and bishops as members. We have chairmen of Traditional Rulers Council, State Traditional Rulers Council as members. We have top businessmen in this country as members. We have also top politicians who are members. But these are people we may generally call patriots. Patriots, those who love Igbo land. Those who believe that Igbo land is not in a state of normalcy. Who believe that the Igbos have seen so much pain and so much suffering and humiliation since the amalgamation. Because many of them were here during the Civil War and all that has happened up to today and what's going on everywhere. Is it the Boko Haram? We are hundreds of thousands of our people ran away from the north and they're all being sheltered in different parts of our communities. Nobody thinks about them. Nobody remembers either those killed, those who are living, or their property left in the north. You know. Are we thinking of many of our business people who are displaced, you know, who are treated as if they're felons? The kind of treatment we hear recently against our top businessmen is unimaginable. I wonder if anybody can do that kind of thing to Dangote. Dangote, who is all over the whole place. You know, when we were young people in secondary schools and university, we used to hear of monopoly. And civilized nations think that monopoly is the worst thing that can happen to anybody. But here we are, the worst monopoly in history. Nobody touches it. Having special special rate of this thing. Our own chaps who have been laboring from scratch with the God-given talent of industry, hard work, patience, they have built up their businesses. Is it Ibeto who has been ruined? Is it Ifanyoba? Is it now happening in the last few days in Osun, whom ADF has visited a few months ago during our industrial tour? Before the end of today, we shall release the video of that trip. You know, it's a phenomenon, something unheard of, that has so much potential for turning around Igbo land. And look at what is happening to Innocent. You know, so our Igbo Development Foundation is committed to helping our people to develop the historical sense, learn from history, learn from those that have passed through what we are passing through, what we have been passing through. The Israelis were once hunted everywhere, but today they are masters of the world. I think the Igbos have the potential of rising up to fulfill their God-given destiny. You know, the Igbos are a great nation. You know, we've made mistakes in the past by the way we fought our enemies or the way we responded to challenges. But I think today, with a sense of history, we are following a new paradigm, a new methodology of trying to get the Igbos together, using enough tact to let the world know what's happening to us, get our chaps all over the whole world. Today, Igbo national consciousness is higher than ever before. Our people all over the whole world, they are looking forward, all want to come together so that we can redeem the Igbo nation. We don't envy anybody We don't have jealous over anybody's thing. What we want is our own right, our own freedom, our own justice. That's what we seek for, you know. So Igbo Development Foundation has risen to serve the Igbo nation, to play this role, and is willing and happy to work with all Igbo organizations, you know, including Ohaneze, which is our pan-Igbo cultural organization. There we have worked with previous presidents. It is our own commitment to make sure whoever occupied that position uses it to serve the interests of the Igbos and keep personal agenda by the side. You know, we have been in touch with our brother Wodo, met with him a number of times, and we believe that the lessons, messages we've given him will be sinking, and he will readjust because he's just coming to office. I think he will readjust and join in making sure that the interests of the Igbos come first before anything. So here we are, members of Igbo Development Foundation. I can't go on introducing everybody here, but since I'm sitting here with Mrs. Maria Okwo, one of the foremost women leaders in the Igbo have, the generation of Margaret Ekbo, maybe her senior, but she follows in her footsteps. The generation of Oyibo Adnamado and many others. She's been with us wherever issues affecting the Igbos are concerned. Maria is there, you know. That's why in ADF we call her Mama ADF. God will bless her and give her many more years. And also one of the things we did when we got in touch with her was to recall the spirit of the, well, the English people call it about women riot, but we call it the Igbo Women Resistance Movement. We did a research under the auspices of her organization, Igbo Women Assembly, and published that book. I think that book, we're going to make sure it becomes a popular reading book, challenging our women to please come and lead the fight for the liberation of Igbo. Next to her is Prince Emeka Onyeso, Opala Ezenri. He was my colleague in University of Nigeria, from where we drank in the spirit of patriotism that has been part of our life all through. Onyeso is a great Igbo son. Recently he launched his book on self-determination, which is at the core of ADF philosophy of our campaign. We want the principle of self-determination to guide everything we do with our neighbors in Nigeria and the rest of the world. So here we are. We have our lawyers, Barrister Ozaka, Barrister Aloy, a young barrister. Listen. Our membership secretary is here. Mr. Chukwemeka, our finance secretary here, Chukwokolo, you know. We have many other people around here. And the secretary of our research and documentation, who lives in the United States, is here with us, Dr. Luke Aneke, a lawyer and a physician. The man who wrote the popular book, Biafra, the untold story of the Biafra. You know. So, and many other people are here with us, including the author of our anthem, Isaac, this thing, and our young ladies over here, Chid is here, so on. So many others are in town, so we are here to just talk to the press and tell the world that we are here to pursue justice for Ndibo. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Our president, indefatigable president, very committed to Igbo cause. He has said it all. We are fighting for the future, posterity, because as things are now, our children and their children will become slaves. They will be slaves to the Hausa Fulani oligarchs. And we do not want that. We want our freedom. We would like to be allowed to grow at our own pace and develop at our own pace. Because during the Akbara Republic, the First Republic, we had regional governments. And you know what happened then? Food was very cheap. Agriculture, there were settled what they call farm settlements. And people were not hungry. Food was very cheap. But see what is happening now. This oil, they call oil boom. I think it is a doom. It's a curse to this country. So we now want to return to status quo, so that our children will not be slaves in this country. If they say one Nigeria, let it be one Nigeria. Otherwise, let my people go.
Thank you, Nemulora, and the leader. We are here to defend the fundamental rights of our people to life and property. Because these lives and our properties are endangered by indiscriminate killing of Igbo, young and old, rape of our women, the harassment, and the rest of them. We want to assert that Igbo life matters. And since the laws of Nigeria and the world forbid the head of state of our country from deploying troops for internal security operations, is in our laws. And several courts have ruled and even punished the federal government, each giving awards to parties involved. But we say these awards do not stop anything, because the penalties are paid from the public purse. We want to be able to get a point where we will involve the International Criminal Court to charge, arrest, try, and if convicted, be punished. Like Taylor of Liberia, like the man of Issa Habra of Chad, like the general of is it Yugoslavia or Czechoslovakia, the army commander who was jailed recently. He went on appeal and lost his appeal and drank poison and died. We want also to tell our people that trying to conciliate impunity does not stop impunity. What stops impunity is challenge of impunity. Even in the scriptures, the parable of the talents teaches us that the God you pray to will not give you any relief except you use your talent to help yourself. And our laws, within our laws, we are not involved in anything violent, we don't want anything illegal and the rest of them. So our coming here also drives home a lesson that Igbos should wake up to defense of their rights. Centuries ago, one of our foremost political philosophers, Alexis de Tocqueville, thought that in a democracy, the people get the government they deserve. If the government kills 10 people and you keep quiet, next time they will kill 100. If you keep quiet, next time it will be thousands. Next time it will be millions. There can't be an end to impunity unless we all come out and challenge it. We are not talking about carrying arms to challenge it, but because the world is a very liberal place now. There is globalization both in commerce and legality and the rest of them. Starting from this court here, we can get to Hague. We can get to London. we can get to anywhere, US. After all, before they paid OD people, before Nigeria was forced to pay the compensation granted OD in their case of invasion, a London High Court had to give an order for payment and warn Nigeria that if they don't pay, they will issue an order confiscating all the assets of Nigeria in England and Wales. It was at that point they negotiated and paid OD 15 million. Therefore, we are not starting anything new. We are just requesting our people to wake up and do what others are doing, because in doing so, you guarantee Igbo rights.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Hello, sir. Can we please know you, please?
My name is Max Ozoaka.
Okay. What brought you to this court today?
Yes, I'm the counsel to Alaibo Development Foundation. I'm the lead counsel on the case that they filed against the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Nigerian Army, and the Chief of Army Staff. The matter was filed precisely on the 14th of September 2017. The filing actually was delayed as a result of administrative lapses here and there, because the idea behind the matter was to get an injunction stopping the Nigerian Army from carrying on with their then advertised operation Python Dance Part 2, because it was being anticipated that there might be casualties that come with it, but more importantly, that the process that led to that were far away from the provisions of the Constitution, because the law is clear as to the appropriate circumstances in which the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria can deploy the army or any part of the armed forces to any part of the country. So those sections we are not complied with, and we've come to ask the court to look at the provisions of those sections of the law vis-a-vis the facts and circumstances of the Python dance, and declare whether in the circumstance it was justifiable for the President to have done what he did, particularly without having recourse to the National Assembly, because the provisions of the law are very clear. So the arguments on the matter the arguments we are taking on the 14th of November. Incidentally and unfortunately, the defendants in the matter did not even deem it important or necessary to enter their defense or to file any defense whatsoever. So it was argued only on our own brief, and the court, after arguments was taken, slated today for the judgment of the case. Of course, we are mindful of the fact that 20th, 22nd of December should be the vacation period of the court. So we drew the attention of the court to the fact that that period might be too close for Christmas, given that it is vacation time. So we are very much aware of the vacation, and the court also was aware that it's going to be vacation, but probably the court felt it can accommodate it because this is a serious matter. This is a matter that should be given attention and priority. And here we are today, got into this place, like President of ADF said, many of us fleeing from different parts of the country, for the judgment, which to us is a historical judgment, considering the matter that is involved and how it affects Igbo land and Nigeria generally. So we're informed that the court is not sitting because of the vacation. I said, no, you can't tell me because of the vacation, because the vacation is not something that was just fixed like that. It was always clear that this period was vacation time for the court, you know. So it was now further explained to us that a vacation advice came from Abuja, that the judges of the Federal High Court should converge at the Federal Court in Abuja for a meeting with the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, as well as end of year party. So our view is that, well, we're not against any such things. These things are normal, but then there are always provisions in our court rules for vacation judges. There are always situations where something can happen, and then you address that in particular. Even with the vacation advice, the judge could have made an exception to give judgment, but we'll leave all that to what it is. But you see, like we always say, it's matters like this require for the judiciary generally to rise up to the occasion, to rise up to its billing, to rise up to its name, so that the world can understand that the Nigerian judiciary is not condoning some of these rascalities on the part of the legislators and the executives. If the judiciary misses it, it's going to be very, very unfortunate, because the world is watching. It's not just about the Igbos, it's not about Nigeria, it's not about Africa, it's about the world. Injustice is being done somewhere, and the court cannot fold its arms. The court must speak, since the matter has been brought before the court. Though it's also been explained to us that as soon as the vacation is over, a new date will be fixed and will be communicated, and I've informed my clients accordingly. But why it became necessary is because, I mean, if the court wasn't going to sit, courtesy, if not anything else, demands that you communicate to the people who are involved. Communicate the counsel. The counsel will communicate his client. I've known it for us to be here. This is vacation time. People should be resting, but here we are. All said and done, we believe at the end of the day, justice will be done. Thank you very much.
One final thing. Do you think that is a violation of this case is going towards the violation of human rights? Is it, or just interpretation of the place or the right of the president to deploy the military or whatever?
The case we filed we did not actually raise issues of violation of fundamental rights. No. What we simply zeroed our application to the court for is to interpret the section of the Constitution, section 217, that specified the circumstances in which the president can call out the army or the armed forces. So let the court look at it vis-a-vis what has happened, where the procedures followed. Did the president do the right thing? So we didn't go into the fundamental rights of. I think that's a different subject matter from what we have in mind.
I think this case would come out to ultimately benefit all Nigerians. We are talking of something that has a grand play on the Nigerian Constitution. For you to take a unilateral action as the president of Nigeria to suspend the application of Nigerian Constitution to a certain section of the country is so fundamental, is so core, so kernel to the ground norm, the Constitution of the Federal Republic, which governs everybody that resides in this country. So for the president to take such action unilaterally without regard to the Constitution would, in effect, if permitted to fly, translate to something that will embolden him to go beyond Igbo land. This is not just about Igbos. This is not just about Southeast alone. If the president is permitted a free rein in this very step that he took, nothing prevents him from replicating that in other parts of the nation. So we are talking of a constitution that has clear provisions and clear demarcation of responsibilities and powers and authority. Under 215, section 215 of the constitution, the police powers of the federation have been enunciated and left for the police authorities, the Nigerian police. Then the section 218 dealt with the powers of the Nigerian military and the relationship of the Nigerian military with the president as the commander-in-chief. Then under section 217, we have limitations on the powers of the president to deploy that military within the territorial limits of the nation. There's only one narrow exception where the president of the country can deploy this military, and that narrow exception is captured very clearly under section 217, that he can only do so when called upon, or the Nigerian army can be deployed within the internal corridors of the country only in a situation where it has become necessary, and the civil authorities called on the army to assist, to aid the civil authorities in suppressing an internal insurrection. Conditions of internal insurrection never existed prior to the deployment of the military in Southeast under the battle code name Python Dance. The code name itself, connotes war. It connotes aggression being exhibited to a certain section of the country that are still Nigerians. So, but if the president should find it necessary, nobody is quarreling with his authority as commander-in-chief to call in the army or to call out the army from the barracks to come and assist the police in suppressing internal insurrection or some kind of riot. But for him to do that, he has to go to the National Assembly. That's a safeguard to ensure that the decision to do this is a weighty decision. So it requires national legislative stamp. The Constitution was clear on it, that the president can do that only with the permission of the National Assembly. In this very instance of Python Dance and the aftermaths, the president didn't do that. That is the crux of the case that we have at the Federal High Court here in Enugu.
Thank you so much.
I think it's going to go far in doing us good. It's going to go far in portraying the image of Nigeria to other countries. Because if we allow this kind of thing to die down like that without tackling it, and if we don't rise up to declare what is injustice as being injustice, other countries, they are watching us. Maybe there are others that want to invest in the country, in this country. They are like, no, we cannot come to invest in a country where they don't regard people, where they don't have a kind of regard to the law. So I think this case will do us a lot of good to Nigeria as a whole, not just to Igbos.
And you think it's going to come out positive?
Well, yeah, I hope so. Because the constitution is very clear on it. It's very, very clear.
Thank you so much for speaking with us. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure, sir. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. All right. You have had it all from Alibo Development Foundation and their Lego team on this issue. And I bet you can continue in the discussion by dropping your comment down below or the dialogue box where you drop your comment. But don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all our social media platforms. Through the description below, you will see the link to our app. Download it and install it. Our Android app is already out. Then we are expecting our Windows and iOS apps. So you get them all and put them there on your mobile device, and you have all the information at the tips of your finger. Don't forget to continue following our activities right on this platform, BVI Channel 1. Till I see you next time, I still remain Associate Advertisers, reporting for BVI Channel 1, Enugu, Biafra land.